You were a program multiple, and one of your many personalities was to detect police. Why?
I was around the age of 3, and most people want to think that it's happening somewhere crazy, but Pennsylvania.
You were in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Who was doing this?
Well, a church.
Now, in the process, though, some of these personalities have demons.
Oh, yeah.
So they have to be cast out.
Definitely.
Everybody, David Heavener here. I have with me a very special person. We are backstage at the conference. Miss Eliana. How are you, Eliana?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Human trafficking. You were a victim of human trafficking at one time.
A survivor.
A survivor.
Yeah.
But you were a victim at the beginning.
Yes.
Now you're a survivor, but you're a victor.
Amen.
Oh, amen? Where were you when this first started taking place, and how old were you?
I was around the age of 3, and most people want to think that it's happening somewhere crazy, but Pennsylvania.
You were in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
You mean like Amish country, Pennsylvania?
Just north, like the Lehigh Valley.
Okay. You were with your mom and dad?
No.
Who were you with? Who were you living with?
I mean, people who pretended to be my mom and dad.
Okay. Were they Amish?
No.
Okay.
No Amish people involved.
I'm in shock, Pennsylvania. I shouldn't be in shock. You guys know this, that I deal with human trafficking all the time. Eliana is kind enough to come on and share her story of from victim to victory. Now, you were 3 years old. Mm-hmm. A lot of people out there are going to ask, 3 years old, how could you remember what happened at 3 years old? How?
DID. A lot of my parts remember things
Okay.
that I don't.
All right.
So
now you jump into my next phase.
Go for it.
Human trafficking, that means that you are, she mentioned DID, dissociative identity disorder in the mental health world. We call it a program multiple. Were you a program multiple?
I am.
You am a program multiple.
We are functionally multiples.
Yeah, we are. But you were at 3 years old, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were programmed at 3 years old, at least initiate the programming, to split your personality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why were they trying to split you?
Satanic ritual abuse.
Okay, so you were also a victim of satanic ritual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Who was doing this?
Well, a church that fronted as a Christian church and then closed the doors.
Oh, it's just getting more like, okay, Pennsylvania church, at least not the Amish.
Not the Amish.
We got some salvation
Amish, so.
going on here. Okay, so at what age did you come to realize that you were a program multiple, because you had all these personalities?
I mean, realistically, I ran when I was 17. I spent a really long time broken, and about 4 years ago, I started pursuing my healing, and then everything started coming out when I couldn't remember parts in time, when I'd revert to sucking my thumb at work, you know.
Not wearing a diaper, though.
No.
Okay. So, because for you guys out there, and you followed me for quite some time, a person can have multiple personalities, and these personalities are sometimes programmed for a specific reason. How many personalities do you think you had?
A lot. How many do we have left? Not so many.
Okay, all right. And what were they programmed to do? They had to have...
So interestingly, probably the one that I find the most interesting is I had a part that was programmed to detect police.
You were a program multiple, and one of your many personalities was to detect police. Mm-hmm. Why?
I'm guessing for their drug rings. I used to go on a lot of drug deals with them because little girls have special places to hide drugs.
Okay, so you mean to work with the police department to...
No, to detect police that might be around to bust what they were doing.
You mean to detect bad cops?
No.
Okay, I'm not following you. You detect something with the police department. What do you detect?
If I'm carrying drugs in my body and going on a drug deal with you and you're my handler.
Okay.
I know if there are police around before you know if there are police around.
Gotcha. All right. Handler, let's go back and do descriptions, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know this. The handler is the person that's handling, okay? The handler is the person that is with you, and this person who's the handler is carrying the drugs, hypothetically, and your job, because they programmed you, is to kind of be the watchdog.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay, that's the first for me on that one. Okay.
I thought that one was the most interesting.
Yeah, it is the most interesting. Now, you mentioned that you would suck your thumb. Let's go back there. What personality was it that went back and was the little baby?
Well, probably about 3. My youngest personality, Cammy.
Cammy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
You mentioned sucking your thumb at work. Why would Cammy come out at work?
Oh, that was when I realized something was really, really wrong, because my boss, great guy, love him to death, came up behind me and leaned over my shoulder like this, and that was it. That's all it took. I completely freaked out.
Because maybe something happened when you were 3 that one of the members of the coven or whoever was in the satanic ritual abuse ceremony did the same thing. Wow. Exactly. And it triggers it. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. You have had multiple personalities split, but now you're healing. Yeah. Let's talk about the healing process. Because the way I see it, there's two segments here. You've got the healing of the personalities, and you've got the casting out of demons. I'm not saying you had a demon, because we haven't talked about that.
I had lots.
You had lots. Okay, we can. All right. So you've got the many personalities, but then you have the demonic side of it. Did the personalities have demons?
Oh, definitely. When I was 5 or 6, I went through a marriage to the beast ceremony where I was betrothed to a fallen angel. That was a pretty crazy demon. We probably had, 3 or 4 people to get that one done. Okay.
And so when a person heals, because we all come to Jesus for the healing, okay, does the casting out of the demon come first in the personality and then the healing? In other words, a person is a program multiple. So how can one person know they have all these personalities? How did that happen for you? How did you come to your healing?
So how we describe it at Warrior Bride is we talk about becoming co-conscious, becoming aware of our parts. And, to some degree, honoring and respecting them for the role that they played to protect us and keep us alive. And it's only once you can have mutual respect and start working together that each part feels okay coming up front to process their healing and to go through deliverance and then to integrate.
Wow, Eliana. So I think what I hear you saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is a person needs to understand they have multiple personalities. They need to start bringing those together through Christ, through a healing, to work with one another, right? Now, in the process, though, some of these personalities have demons.
Oh, yeah.
So they have to be cast out.
Definitely. And we have to keep them kind of at bay, not allow them to be up front, because if my body has accepted Christ and I have a programmed part that wants to come up front and summon demons, then we have an issue.
Right, exactly. Because which personality is coming to Jesus? So you can't do that. First, there has to be an integration of the personalities.
A working together.
A working together of the person. Now, the personalities, all you, we're talking about you as a program multiple, or do they just vanish away and the real you pops out?
So, yes and no. We talk about something, I think Russ talks about it a little bit, called interjects. Parts of other people that were put into us to basically stop anyone from ever I don't like the camera. From ever figuring out our system or figuring out the secrets. So I did have some interjects that left, but parts of us, we only have one spirit and we only have one soul. We only have one body, but we have parts of our soul, and each of us have different parts of that soul. Like our protectors have, that fight or flight, that boundaries, being able to say no. So we all come back together to form a whole person after all of the demons and crap are dealt with.
Wow. So. We all are program multiples.
To some degree.
To some degree, aren't we?
Like and running, the suicide,
Even in church, I talked about in my presentation, there was part of me that would go to church, the other part of me that would go to the movies, until I came together to be and have integrity. What can you look for in a victim of satanic ritual abuse? And then we'll go back to human trafficking. If someone has been abused in SRA and they've been programmed, okay, What are some of the symptoms? What's some of the signs that people can look for? Please, if you could go and order this End Times DVD collection, it has everything that we've been talking about on this broadcast, and even what we're talking about tonight with Dr. Lake. We're talking about the Antichrist. We're talking about Illuminati, New World Government. Just text the word bonus to 41444, the word bonus to 41444, or you can get a Legalize Jesus t-shirt and a mug, because we got to make Jesus legal. It's the first title of the first episode of Last Evangelist, Legalize Jesus. You can text the word chosen to 91999, or just go to davidheavener.tv/order, and you can pick it up. Go to davidheavener.tv, sign up. There's things on there you're not going to see on these other channels, okay? I have videos on there, and we have original programming that you're not going to see anywhere else.